EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich here with your outlook for February 5th, 2025. It is Wednesday. Welcome to Wild Weather Wednesday, brought to you by Pure Sight and Sound. Our favorite caveman, Og, was thrilled. He had just heard the latest forecast from Bobby at EPAWA, that's me, and he knew that it was going to be nasty outside the cave. Fortunately, Og was ready for movie night, and his wife Evelyn and their kids in their cave theater designed and built by Pure Sight and Sound. Sure, they had equipment that is simply unavailable at the big box stores. Of course, it sounded fantastic, even better than the movie theater at the mall. But what Og liked most were his theater seats with powered recline and heat and massage. They were Og's happy place. Call Ed at 570-992-2992. That number is above me here in the video. Or visit them on the web at puresightandsound.com. Be like Og and tell Ed I want theater seats that Og has. They are Pure Sight and Sound Incorporated, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. So we do have a mess coming at us today, and it's going to be the first of two this week. And then we have more nonsense coming next week, I think. But we'll get into one at a time here. This is the first system coming in this evening and overnight. The evening will be like kind of late evening, mid to late evening, further southwest. Now it's going to spread further northeast after midnight, farther northeast. I'll get into the timing here in a second. But this is generally a cold air damming situation with high pressure off to the northeast, which is situated right up here. Okay, this is your cold air supply that's keeping temperatures at the surface colder as this system moves in. The low pressure is back here, and you have a warm front that's situated like this, okay, and it's moving up in this direction. So where these two clash, you have precipitation, and the gradient boundary that is moving along separates that cold and warm air along with the warm front that, in this case, providing the precipitation. So the clash of the two means warm air is going to come in aloft. When I talk about aloft, I'm somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 feet generally. Sometimes it's up to 10,000 feet, depending on how deep that layer is. But at the surface, the temperatures are below freezing, and that's going to lead to overrunning precipitation and a wintry mess. So we're not going to have just the traditional snow that you would expect in winter. This is going to lead to other precipitation types. You may start off with snow for our northeastern areas here, and that's going to go over an extended period of sleet, it looks like. And then after that, changes to freezing rain, and then just ends when you get areas further north of I-78. I-78 points north, I don't think you're going to change over at all. I think this entire event is going to be a frozen precipitation in one variety or another from start to finish. South of 78, you may change to rain at the very end. So let's get into the specifics on the NAM high-res future simulated radar. Starting us off at 11 p.m., and there's really nothing going on in our area except our far southern areas. So this is late evening it comes in there, and this is after midnight everywhere else. We might have to back the timing up a little bit, because the NAM did slow down with this timing a little bit. But you see at the onset in our northeastern areas, this comes in as snow. Not a lot, but some. And then you get this extended period of sleet, which is these pinkish colors in the middle. Any of the freezing rain is annotated by the purplish colors, and rain would be in green. So as I move this forward, you can see what this is doing. This is going into Thursday morning. If you think your kids are going to school, if you're in the interior, northwest of 95 on Thursday, you might have to think again, because it's probably not happening with this kind of precipitation falling at that time. Here is 7 a.m. A lot of kids start going to school 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You got a pretty heavy sleet going on here over northeast, much of northeast PA, the Lehigh Valley, back to northern New Jersey. It is all sleet at this point. Freezing rain across south central Pennsylvania, back over to the Philadelphia area. So, I mean, you're going to have a lot of problems on Thursday morning with your morning commute to work, and also for the kids trying to get to school. If you don't have at least a delay, and if you're in the interior areas northwest of 195, I will be stunned. I don't. Some of these, most of you will be canceled completely here on Thursday because of this. But this will transition during the morning from sleet to freezing rain, as you can see here, and then it's going to precipitation going to get lighter as we go through the course of the morning, except for far southern areas that do change over, that are going to change over to rain south of the I-78 corridor. Once you get just north of there, though, again, this is just going to end as freezing drizzle in the early afternoon hours and then go away. And that's going to be it. You're not going to have any kind of changeover, I think, north of I-78, both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So we put a map out today. Several maps, actually. Here's the first one. This is a little different from what you've all seen publicly, but this is showing, see this red line here? When we send the text alerts, we do it off of the snow and sleet map, and then add in the ice part. We had two different maps today, one for snow and sleet because they both accumulate. Ice accrues, so we had to have that separately. But this red line here that I'm showing you is kind of like a back channel insight to what we do. Okay, so this area here actually indicates where it's anything north of that line there, those counties, we expect to stay completely frozen throughout the entire event. South of there, we do expect at least some, even if briefly, a changeover to rain before it ends. So that is how we made that distinction here in the rain versus areas that are going to remain frozen throughout the entire event. Okay, so areas north of there, don't expect any rain up here. Don't expect any rain at all. And I mean, this is on our weather alerts page. You can take a look at that. The snow and sleet is combined together again because they both accumulate. But it's 1 to 3 up here in this area A. It's according to 2 inches snow plus sleet in area B. Area C here is the area that's going to be mostly sleet for any kind of accumulations and not snow. But you can get according to 1 inch of sleet in these areas here. And area D would be anything up to a ½ inch of sleet before it changes over to other precipitation types. The other map we have out, of course, is the ice. And this is the most concerning part of this is the freezing rain because any amount of freezing rain is dangerous on the roadways. It's not going to be catastrophic levels of freezing rain until you get out here by Bedford out here where the highest amounts of greater than 0.2 inches, probably 0.3 in some areas out here. This is all terrain related out here in the Appalachian Mountains in central PA or west central Pennsylvania. These areas always usually get smacked with those kind of systems anyway. But this area B here is anywhere between 0.1 and 0.2 inches of freezing rain. Cruel, and area C is between 0.05 of an inch and 1/10 of an inch. So there's a lot of our area getting into this. Further southeast you go, there's going to be less freezing rain, and then in the white areas are absolutely nothing as far as freezing rain is concerned. So we expect there's a changeover from sleet to rain along the coastal plain here. But interior areas will get at least some freezing rain out of this in this particular system. So this is going to be the first of two like this week. We are going to have another one. It's going to come in this weekend. In between, on Friday, we have a mostly sunny day, seasonable day, right? But the problem on Friday is you're going to have cold air advection-related wind gusts during the day, 15 to 25, gusting 30 to 35 on Friday. Okay, so this is during the day. You're going to have these winds going throughout the day. Once we get to evening, that diminishes and goes away. So just keep in mind that in the wake of this system, not during the system's going to be fine. With any ice accrual, you're not going to have windy conditions to go with that to bring down these power lines and trees. And it's not really a tremendous amount of ice to begin with, but if it was windy, it would be a different story. We're not going to have wind during the event. It's going to be after that on Friday. Cold air advection-related wind gusts. And then we have the next system coming in here on Saturday, almost a carbon copy of this system. It might have a little bit more juice with this. We'll see. But it's the same kind of evolution where you start off as snow, go to sleet, then freezing rain. Might have rain in our southern areas. It might stay all frozen again north of 78. It's a very similar evolution this time on Saturday and Saturday night. The one caveat to this is I don't think it affects Sunday at all. I think Sunday is going to be morning clouds giving way to sun in the afternoon as this system pulls away. So we're not affecting anything you got going on for Super Bowl parties or anything like that. We should be okay with that. Our attention is going to turn next week to not only colder temperatures coming in, but the next system, the gradient boundary is responsible for these overrunning precipitation events that we're having tonight into Thursday morning and again Saturday and Saturday night. The gradient boundary responsible for that is going to be a little bit further south this time. So in that case, we might be dealing with a significant snowfall when we get into the Tuesday night, Wednesday timeframe next week. This is right in the middle of our winter storm signal that we've had in a long-range outlook for 2 weeks now, between the 11th and 14th. This is actually the 12th and 13th. That falls right in the middle between 11th and 14th, so it's there. We've seen this for a while. This system we're going to be paying attention to. There might be even another one after that a couple days later. We'll see. That could be back-to-back wintry events next week, but there's a long time to go before that. We're going to focus on these Obviously, the system we're dealing with now is pretty much, we're going to have one final look at this today, and then we're going to have a start right into the next system, which is another wintry mess here Saturday and Saturday night, and then we'll focus on this system here next week. But I will tell you, the ensembles are overly thrilled with this period next week for snow. So if you're a snow lover and you're like, well, yeah, we're getting some wintry systems here, this isn't really satisfying my winter tastes here so much because I'm looking for snow. Well, next week might be your week. We have some blocking in place over Greenland that can keep this boundary a little bit further south, and that could help us in the snow department and make these more snowy rather than icy. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for February 5th, 2025. Have a great Wednesday.